The California Faculty Association holds a one-day strike on the Cal State East Bay campus.
The Occupy movement that has swept the nation arrives at Cal State East Bay.
CSU East Bay's basketball star Mark Samuels talks about his life on and off the court. Pioneer Web TV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Pioneer Web TV News. I'm Allison R. Moore.
And I'm Chris McBride. Today we'll continue our coverage of current events and issues affecting the Cal State University East Bay campus. First up, let's take a look at our top stories.
Hundreds of faculty, staff, and students rallied in frustration to protest lingering pay disputes and budget cuts. The CFA Faculty Union held a strike featuring several marches throughout the day. The one-day action blocked off both the Carlos B. and Harder Road entrances to CSU East Bay. Pioneer Web TV News producer Chris Bermudez was there.
The corner of West Loop Road and Harder Road is a sea of red as Cal State East Bay faculty is on a one-day strike. They've been here since 6 a.m. this morning and plan to be here until 6 p.m. until they feel their point has gotten to Chancellor Reed and the administration of the CSU system.
According to a fact sheet provided by the CSU faculty on the day of the strike, Chancellor Reed refuses to negotiate with the faculty. Reed wanted to eliminate the faculty raises for the 2008-2009 school year and the 2009-2010 school year, all of which he agreed in the faculty's contract back in 2007.
We have to show the world that this issue is important, that it's very important. And the issue is that we, the faculty in the California State University, have to be treated with respect and dignity. We don't have a better way to exert force to show our power. When it comes down to a contest of wills like this, we have to show the power of the people unified, and this is the main, really the only real tool we have.
Well, the one-day strike is just about showing a little bit of taste of what it's going to be like without the faculty. I think that we need to make a step towards respecting what we contribute. And that step has to include understanding our role in making sure that you guys have a quality education.
Chancellor Charles Reed canceled planned faculty raises because of economic reasons. He claims the university has no money for raises and exercised a provision in the contract to cancel the raises if the state's budget crisis continued. But the CFA feels that enough is enough. The fight for quality education includes winning fairness for faculty as well as winning fairness for students.
What's hurt students most has been the multiplication of large sections, the reduction of classes. That's hurt students much more than one day of rejoicing in our educational values together. I've been at this university for 34 years. I've watched my class sizes go from 25 to 54. It's unreasonable to teach mathematics, to statistics, to that many students. They need more attention, and it's a very difficult subject. Imagine writing, language. We teach really difficult subjects. Students need more attention. Class sizes are too large.
The California Faculty Association is mad about the chancellor giving more and more to top managers and ignoring the classroom. The CFA feels treating faculty fairly does not require fee hikes for students, but it does require the chancellor to change his priorities.
I don't know what we can expect. I know that the mood here is sort of tied to the mood of the 99% movement, which is about saying 1% of the people can't make the decisions for the rest of us. And so for both teachers and students, I think you can see a lot of responses. You guys got a 9% hike today, so I expect to see both us and you guys together fighting for a better educational system.
If they change courses and start treating the faculty with respect and also the students, because we stand unified with the students objecting to the fee hikes. So if they begin to wake up and see that they have to work with us to fund higher education, then there won't be any more strikes.
The administration has taken action by approving a 9% fee increase that is around $500 for the year for the typical full-time undergraduate student. Civil rights activist Dr. Cornel West came to support the faculty in their efforts and shared his thoughts on the issue.
I want to give a special shout out to the faculty. Let's give the faculty. Because the faculty are here to serve the students, but when you have faculty who straighten their backs up and take a stand and connect with students and administrators, then you got something special going on. And that's what's going on here at California State University, Hayward. And I won't take more time, but I just want to say I am inspired to be here. I'm fired up to be here.
The CFA represents about 20,000 professors, lecturers, and other faculty members. Even though classes were still scheduled to take place on Thursday, most classes were canceled.
I think this way brought a lot of attention to the campus today and made everybody on campus have to think about what they believe in terms of our union's important. Is good working conditions for faculty and staff important for students' education? Is education important to the CSU? What do we all believe, and then how can we act in response to that? So a strike calls us, everybody on the university, to really question their own beliefs and then make a response.
The hope is that it shows a little taste of what can happen if we don't get fair negotiations as we move forward. Because as you know, your tuition is going up, and as a higher tuition, you would expect for you, the faculty, to have smaller classes. You would expect to have more class offerings for yourselves, but that's just not the case. We get more and more responsibilities piled on without increase in compensation, and that's just not going to work.
You know, I think there is some common ground. There is some common ground in that we all identify that there need to be more resources for the CSU to do its job, to serve students, to be more effective in that. I think the difference is that the faculty union at this point is trying to leverage pressure to get $20 million in additional pay increases for 2 years, 2008 through 2010, that they actually received $60 million already for in pay increases. And you know, the faculty union leadership has unfortunately decided to deny students a day of education in order to sort of pressure this goal. And unfortunately, in a situation where we don't have any more state support, in fact, we've been reduced by $650 million, with $100 million potentially lost mid-year. We are in a situation right now where providing $20 million in faculty pay increases will actually be felt by the students. It'll either be felt by loss of class sections, by loss of access, by loss of services, or maybe even as direct cost. And just with as much as students have been asked to bear already, it would just be very inappropriate to prioritize at this point faculty pay increases for a small group over that of the students who have really suffered quite a bit recently.
According to the CFA, the misplaced priorities of the Chancellor and his Board of Trustees will leave a legacy of executive pay scandals, unprecedented student fee increases, and a quasi-private university in the place of what was once the country's largest 4-year public university system. I'm Chris Bermudez, reporting for Pioneer Web TV News.
As a result of the strike, 593 class sections were canceled, affecting approximately 8,500 students.
Most students stayed away from the CSU East Bay campus during the one-day strike last week. Many others could be seen participating with chants and pounding drums in support of the CFA strike. PTV's Man on the Street, Curtis Perry, covered the action.
I'm here on the corner of Harder Road and Campus Loop Drive. And behind me is one location where Cal State University Let's see how the students feel.
We need a white balance.
Behind us are the same people, the Board of Trustees, and we're all here to push to democratize the Board of Trustees, to make it more representative of faculty, staff, and students so we don't have to deal with these kind of problems. It's all about getting our voices heard.
How do you feel about the strike thus far?
I think it's important to be active and to participate in something like this because this is the first strike in the CSU system and we're making history, you know? But not only that, we're fighting for our education and we're fighting for our future generations too. So I feel good about it. I feel like it's necessary.
What are your thoughts on Chancellor Reed trying to eliminate faculty raises?
I think it doesn't make sense for him to try to eliminate faculty raises. At the same time, tuition is being increased. Where's my money going? It's a little bit selfish.
It has been great. There's such a, it's a great energy. Like you come out here, there's music playing, there's, you're walking, you're yelling, you're chanting, and like, you're actually stopping traffic. Like we are literally stopping traffic. And that's an amazing feeling. And like you're walking with your professors, you're talking with other students. I got to meet people from Sac State, Stanislaus, also SF State, and I mean, they're coming from all over the place. I heard that there's Humboldt students coming still. So it's been great and a lot of fun. It's very educational. I mean, you learn a lot, and I mean, I had sort of these preconceptions, and then you come and you talk to these people, and you actually find out what really are the issues, because I think that there is this whole idea that it's all just about the professors wanting a pay raise, and that's not true. It's about so much more. It's about the fact that our tuition increases are crazy. The fact that, he's making all these promises and he's spending all this money, and what are we seeing? Nothing. It's getting worse. That's not an education.
After what we've seen today, I think it's safe to say that students and faculty can come together and unite against the administration's tuition increases and teachers' pay cuts. For Pioneer Web TV, this has been Curtis Perry.
These interviews may be an indication that we can expect more faculty and student collaboration in support of future CFA efforts. Up next, we'll take a look at Occupy East Bay here on campus.
Welcome back to Pioneer Web TV News. The Occupy movement reached CSU East Bay with help from a campus student group named Students for Quality Education, or SQE. Students demonstrated their concerns about the cost of education and classroom conditions. Pioneer Web TV News reporter Fernando Terracia has more.
I'm Fernando Terracia. Early afternoon on November 16th, Students for Quality Education, SQE, helped students organize a protest called CSU EB Tent City. Students were here to demonstrate their concerns about issues that are currently affecting students, but they were confronted with an unexpected obstacle. Apparently, Cal State East Bay President Leroy Morishita addressed that the California Code of Regulations states, temporary or permanent shelters on campus property is prohibited without the written permission of the university.
My role is mainly just make sure that I'm communicating with students and others that may be visiting on the campus about any policies, procedures, prohibitions, and in this particular case it was about the pop-up tent was the objection.
Faculty members were also involved in this event, and one professor commented,
basically what we did is, as the Faculty of Ethnic Studies, we saw the students were making a protest and we wanted to support them as a show of solidarity. We held our faculty meeting there under the tent that they had.
Frank Quintana, a CSU East Bay student and a member of the SQE, had this to say about the protest.
We want to build a sense of campus community here in the university. We understand that this university lacks student involvement, which is why we have invited various groups and clubs here to this space so that we can talk about some of the issues that they're facing and concerns, and as a collective work together, collaborate with each other to find a solution to our problems.
Eventually, the UPD was successful in retrieving the canopy from the Occupy student protesters. And some students showed disagreement, but that didn't stop students from continuing on with their protest. As the day went by, students gathered around to hear a lecture given by faculty members and discuss issues that were concerning students. Ultimately, student protesters had planned an overnight stay in front of the Agora stage late Wednesday night. With 2 rotating shifts during the night, student protesters had a successful event and ended the peaceful protest around 5 a.m. early Thursday morning. Reporting from Cal State East Bay, I'm Fernando Torrecia, Pioneer Web TV News.
Although the campus protests have ended for now, SQE stressed that they will continue to encourage students to demand the right to a quality education.
Grammy nominee and Latin percussionist John Santos conducted a first Tuesday jazz masterclass in the recital hall of the Music Building. East Bay's music students experienced the love and knowledge that Santos has for Latin jazz. Pioneer Web TV News reporter Will Burnick has the story.
Grammy nominee Latin percussionist John Santos gave a masterclass on Tuesday, November 1st at CSUB Music Department Recital Hall. The event started with a live performance of the CSUB Music Latin Jazz Ensemble composed of students from the CSUB Music Department, most of whom were new to Latin jazz and enjoyed that experience.
First of all, I got an experience of performing Latin music, which I had never done before. I've done rock, swing, jazz, pop, R&B, but I've never done a Latin jazz performance, and well, I really enjoyed it.
John Santos, widely respected as one of the top writers and historians in this field, thinks this is a tremendous additional learning experience for students.
This kind of a program is very important for nowadays, especially when arts are being cut off of the curriculums of so many educational institutions. So I'm really glad to see that here at Hayward State or at CSU East Bay, that they are taking an interest in maintaining the real roots of the music and letting people know a full spectrum of what those roots are.
Faculty members and students who were present at the event took great advantage of the opportunity to enjoy and learn about jazz music.
I was expecting a master jazz class. I was expecting someone who had an expertise, and it was quite wonderful.
For Mr. Wallman, assistant professor in the music department, having John Santos here at our campus offers experience to CCB music department students and all faculty members a different perspective of Latin jazz music.
It's an opportunity to bring musicians from the community in to talk about their music and to give our students different perspectives on jazz and the large body of work, the large area that encompasses jazz.
More masterclass performances are coming up very soon, including a performance by Mimi Fox on December 6th. To find out about upcoming performances, dates, and artists, be sure to check the News and Events section of the Music Department website. This is Will Burnick reporting for Pioneer Web TV News.
For more on the life and career of John Santos and the exclusive look into his upcoming album, check out the website at www.johnsantos.com.
A local product of Berkeley High School, Mark Samuels, has had an impressive high school and collegiate career as the Cal State East Bay men's basketball team's leading scorer so far this season. Pioneer Web TV News reporter Amanda Zepeda got the chance to sit down with Samuels earlier this week.
On game days, during practices, or even during simple workouts, Junior and Pioneers men's basketball player Mark Samuels shows exemplary leadership to the rest of the East Bay team. Having led the Pioneers in scoring for the past 2 seasons, Samuels looks ahead to an illustrious collegiate career playing the sport he loves. Here's Mark with his story.
My dad signed me up when I was 7, and I say he's like, besides my mom, he's like the main one that pushed me, because he's seen that I had like talent since I was little, so he kind of pushed me towards basketball and made sure I stayed focused and really start loving the game, and here I am now.
While at his 4 years at Berkeley High School, he earned League Most Valuable Player honors during his senior year and was named First Team All-League. He also helped lead Berkeley High to 2 conference championships. For this young Bay Area native, setting an example to the people around him is something he takes pride in. Teammate and good friend Rashawn Wynn appreciates Samuels as a player and as a person.
Mark's role on the team is to come in and be a leader, use his drive that he has and help motivate others, as well as pushing himself when he's tired or, when he's not at his peak, at the peak of his game, allowing others to see that even though he's tired, he's still pushing himself, so you guys got to push yourself too.
I feel my role is just to make sure that everybody's ready to play. I mean, when our team is kind of struggling, then I guess we can say that they look to me as like to give us a spark. My main priority when we play is not to score, but just to make sure everything's going smooth. Being a point guard, I just feel like if the team's not running smooth, then it's bad on my part. So I just try to make sure everybody is on the same page. I feel like this year's team is more talented than last year's team. Last year we had a lot of good guys, but this year it's like the guys came in and they know what to expect from this level, and then the Division II conference is real tough. So with this team, I mean, they practice hard, they play hard, and I think understanding how hard or where the level we got to be good is important. So.
Mark Bam Samuels, nicknamed after his father, has established himself as a team leader on and off the court. Although Samuels has found success in his third year with the Pioneers, he believes the future for him and his team is a whole lot brighter. This is Amanda Cepeda reporting for Pioneer Web TV News.
Mark Samuels and the rest of the men's basketball team will face off against conference competition this weekend. East Bay will also host Sonoma State on Friday night and Humboldt State on Saturday night at the Pioneer Gym. Tune in to our next episode for the results and highlights of the games. That wraps up another edition of Pioneer Web TV News for this fall quarter. I'm Allison R. Moore.
And I'm Chris McBride. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.